everybody. Welcome to the Abroaders Travel Podcast, your weekly meetup with thousands of entrepreneurs, hustlers, creators, nomads, ninjas, wanderers, and world changers, all seeking to build the skills and connections to live a life without borders. If you want to learn more about what we do or download our entire podcast archive, check out the website, abroaders.com.
Happy Wednesday morning and welcome to another episode of the Abroaders Podcast. I am AJ checking in from Austin, Texas, and I will be doing this episode solo. Have some news and updates, some stuff for some programs, some interesting perks with Priority Pass being added, and a handful of other things. We're going to cut the core content for today. Don't have anything really high level or worthwhile for you, so we'll keep it to news and updates because Eric is currently in transit. I believe he is in the air right now. He's coming back from Brazil. He'll get in, which will be Tuesday. So yesterday, for those of you listening when this episode goes out. For show notes for this episode, to get links and all of that, at broaders.com/175. All right, well, getting into it, I have some interesting news with programs. So it has just come out that Air Canada has decided to get rid of Aeroplan by June of 2020. So how this is currently working is Aeroplan is a separate entity that runs the loyalty program for Air Canada's airline. And the way that it worked out is they had a pretty lengthy contract. I want to say it was maybe even 10 years, and the contract expires in June of 2020. And Air Canada has opted to go their own way and try to design their own loyalty program. So we really don't have any information about this as far as what the big changes are going to be or how points will end up transferring over to the new currency or the new rules or the award chart or any stuff like that. We have no idea, but we do have a bunch of time. That's still 3 years out, but it is pretty interesting and it's good to know because this will give people plenty of time to position themselves and ultimately transfer points into Aeroplan, or if they already have Aeroplan points, be able to use them in good time before these changes happen. Another thing in program news that I thought was pretty interesting, and I was not aware that British Airways, Air Canada, and Qantas already do this, but Alaska has started to offer their elite customers who happen to be new parents or are pregnant the perk of essentially putting their status on hold. So you'll be able to hold it for up to 1 year if you're pregnant or need to take paternal leave, and so after this year is up, you can pick up right where you left off as far as your status goes. So I thought it was pretty cool. That makes sense to not punish people for being pregnant, because that seems like something we like to do in other parts of life, especially here in the United States. So that was pretty cool. I thought that they offer that for pregnant people. Next piece of news here is what I was talking about with the Priority Pass perk. That this I think is really, really, really cool. So Priority Pass has added Minutes Suites to their list of lounges. So obviously this isn't really a lounge, and this is something Eric and I spoke about, I think, a couple weeks ago. So Minutes Suites are pay by the minute, like a sleeping quarters. So, if you've got a layover, you're really tired and you want to get, a 45-minute nap or an hour and a half, or whatever, you can get a room and you can get a bed for just that amount of time. You don't need to pay a full price for a full night if you're not going to use it. So how this is going to work with the Priority Pass is the first hour is free, and then it is $28 an hour after, which is considerably cheaper than the retail price. So that's pretty cool to get, a free hour and then $28 an hour after. So for under $30, you can get a couple hours of privacy, get a nap in. That's pretty cool, because I think the way the math works is it's around $80 an hour, which is definitely expensive. And, depending on a hotel, some hotels are only $100 for the entire night. But, if you just really need just a little bit of time, this is really cool. And with Priority Pass, it's really cool that you get your first hour free. And then after that, it's a reasonable price for the hour. So you can, get a few hours for much cheaper than you can get a hotel by the airport. And you have the convenience of not having to, get a taxi or anything like that, or ground transport. And So as far as taking advantage of this goes, there are only 3 places in the U.S. that I am aware of, and that is Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Dallas. So if you end up holding the Priority Pass and you would be up for giving this a go, definitely let us know. Let us know about this. I'm trying to think of when my next flight will be, but if there's a chance I connect from Austin to Dallas, I'm definitely going to give this a look. And kind of see how this is. I'm kind of curious, but yeah, that's like I said, pretty cool that Priority Pass adds that now. So that's I think a good signal. Where as opposed to Priority Pass stripping away a bunch of options and ways to get value from the card, it seems to be moving in the right direction. So that's good. Now, speaking about things moving in a direction that's not necessarily good, it looks like we should all prepare for a laptop ban on all flights in all cabins between Europe and the United States. So personally, I don't know. I hate this. It's just another thing we're going to do that probably isn't even like a net positive for safety, and we're going to look back in a couple of years and wonder what the hell we're doing, still continuing with this ban. But, ultimately the security pros have more info than we do, but those people also designed a program that is really incompetent, which is the TSA. Whenever they do audits and stuff, trying to sneak through, fake guns and such, it seems like they can do it at a pretty impressive clip. So I don't know, but this is something that you should be aware of, and it looks like from what we've heard and we've read, there's a couple articles kind of quasi leaks saying that if you're listening to this episode on Wednesday when this airs, it looks like tomorrow, Thursday, they're gonna announce something. So it'll be interesting to see how this handles. It's definitely going to make traveling a bigger pain in the ass for people that do need to bring a laptop with them. If it's something for work or for whatever reason you just want to have your laptop with you to help you do travel planning and stuff when you're on the road. But yeah, that's and for people that aren't aware of this, are not familiar with what is currently going on, is there's a select amount of countries that the United States has a laptop ban on flights between pretty much most of the Middle East and the United States. So what this means is you can't carry on any real electric device other than, I believe, your phone. I think you can carry on your phone with you, but different airlines are handling it differently. I believe it's Emirates is letting all of their business class folks, they're issuing them laptops to use during the flight if they need to do that. But yeah, so that means that you need to check your laptop, toss it underneath, which obviously brings up some concerns about theft. And it also brings up some concerns based on the batteries and it being fire hazards. Because I think, I don't know, this is really strange. We'll keep you guys posted on when we get more information about this or if we confirm this. But this is something that, if this happens on flights between Europe and the U.S. like we think it's going to, I don't see why it wouldn't happen on flights between Asia and the U.S. And I wouldn't see why it wouldn't happen on almost all international flights between the U.S. And, I'm just trying to think of how this thing would come to an end. It really, when you look back as far as, what terrorism has done with our policies and our rules, the stuff we do is pretty sticky. It seems to be around. We're still taking our shoes off. There's still a lot of stuff from 9/11 that we're doing. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. To something a little bit more light, there's a deal that seems almost too good to be true. I saw from Frequent Miler. This is kind of the type of thing that we typically try to stay away on this podcast because this is kind of niche and has to do with the TV, but maybe some of you are in the market for a TV, and I thought this was a pretty good deal. So currently there is a 60-inch Vizio 4K smart TV for about $700, which I think is a pretty good deal as is, because I was actually in the TV market recently and I was looking around. But the kicker here is with this promotion, if you buy this TV, you get a $300 gift card for Dell. So I guess what it really depends is, who this deal would be for is somebody that is in the market for a new TV and somebody that would value stuff from Dell. But I thought that was pretty compelling. So if let's say that you are in the market for both, you do want a TV, you're planning on buying one, and you would value, $300 off it, Dell, for whatever Dell devices you're buying, that brings us down to $400 pretty big, pretty nice modern TV, and now TVs are definitely way cheaper than they used to be, but still paying a net $400 for a 60-inch Vizio 4K smart TV seems pretty good. So we'll have a link in the show notes. Once again, thank you, Frequent Miler, for alerting us of that kind of bizarre but interesting offer that may be good for some of you people out there. Now, a quick reminder, as far as promotions go, that there is a transfer bonus to Virgin Atlantic, and this ends on May 22nd. So this ends in under a week. So that's Amex membership rewards points. There is a 30% transfer bonus to Virgin Atlantic. So a quick refresher about the deal. You will get 1,300 Virgin Atlantic Flying Club miles for every 1,000 membership rewards transfer. So there's the 30% transfer bonus. And now note that this is Virgin Atlantic, not the U.S.-based Virgin America. And so the terms of this is minimum transfer 1,000 Amex points, and this offer is valid until 11:59 p.m. on May 22nd. And then also additional Virgin Atlantic Flying Club miles will be awarded at the time of the transfer. So that's nice. You don't need to wait any extra amount of time for the transfer to kick in. And then I've got a quick little note here that I believe is from Frequent Miler talking about whether this is a good deal or bad deal. But so according to the chart that Gary Luff published, round trip from North America cities served by ANA, so the Japan carrier, would be 120,000 miles in first class on Virgin Atlantic. And that would, as far as this transfer goes, that'd be about 93,000 membership rewards, and then business class would be about 74,000 points. So that's a pretty good deal when you consider how expensive things can be on a good first class between the US and Asia, and even in business class. So 93,000 membership rewards for ANA first class is a stellar deal. I guess the only caveat there would be to see what kind of availability there is and when exactly you want to travel, because those sweet spots sometimes can be difficult to take advantage of just by virtue of them being such good deals that they're not always available. But definitely something to consider if you're going to be heading that way and you're ready to book pretty soon, because like I said, this deal ends on May 22nd. So only got a couple more things here. For those of you that enjoy Spotify Premium, and if you don't enjoy Spotify Premium, I would urge you to go ahead and buy it. If you're a holder of the Capital One Quicksilver card, you will get a 50% discount on Spotify Premium, and that is through April 2018. And I believe there's like 3 different tiers. There's a student rate, which is pretty cheap. There's a family discount, which is maybe $15 a month, and then there's an individual one, which is $9.99 a month. So, I mean, whether you have the Capital One Quicksilver card or not, I would definitely recommend getting Spotify Premium, because you get pretty much any song you can imagine whenever you want it on any of your devices. So I think it's pretty sweet. I listen to it all day when I'm working on my computer, and then if I'm working out or something on my phone, have all my playlists and stuff synced offline. So that is definitely worthwhile. So if you have the Capital One Quicksilver card and you feel like taking advantage of an offer which will save you if you sign up for it now or whatever, activate it now, that'll be $50-$60. So if you call it $10 a month, $120 a year. And this is good through April 2018, so maybe not a full year. So, save yourself $50. And like I said, if you don't have it, I definitely recommend Spotify Premium. I've never met anyone that was disappointed with what they get. It's only $10 a month to get just a bunch of value, a bunch of music. So that is all for today as far as news and updates. Once again, like I said, you can go over to abroaders.com/175. You will catch the show notes. I'm trying to think of any key show notes that we'll really have, but everything we mentioned will have a link in some form or the other to the original source of it. So that, the priority pass with the Minute Suites lounges, Aeroplan being replaced by Air Canada, the TV deal, 30% transfer bonus to Virgin, Spotify. So like I said, that is all we got for you today. I hope you guys have a good week, and we will catch you next week with a more comprehensive episode that Eric and I will do with some core content. Happy travels.
Hey, Broaders, don't be shy. Hop over to the website and join our email list for exclusive travel hacking content. If you like what we're up to, the best way you can support the show is by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes. Lastly, we would love to hear from you, so send your show feedback to Eric or AJ at abroaders.com.